Romancing the Dungeon is intended for mature audiences, as this show contains adult themes, but not those kind of adult themes, unfortunately. Just sensitive stuff that some audience members may find upsetting. Content warning for specific episodes can be found in episode descriptions.
Tell me why I'm so alone when I know you're here with me.
You're listening to Romancing the Dungeon, a softcore D&D podcast about heroes navigating their daily lives while looking for love in a world full of peril, monsters, and heartbreakers. Previously on Romancing the Dungeon.
Announcing Sergeant Major Sebastian Piddlestone. Lady Wulver, Sister Reete and Master Oron, before you meet with Ajalia Steele and His Majesty meets with the heroes, I felt it best to bring to your attention some of the events and potential charges facing them. Night Scout Steele abandoned his mission to fraternize with a one Miss Fia Burbage. Fia Burbage was spotted in Talik's library, seen cavorting with protesters in Kappa's anvil, and both she and Steele were seen standing very close, if not awkwardly, together in the old castle ruins. She has also caused some damage to one of the Grand Galeshire hotel trees. The manager has added it to her room charges, and ultimately our bill. Kyle Adoris has absconded in a flagrant disregard of His Majesty's orders, and we have been unable to track him down. Ivan and or Nate was seen attempting to acquire a horse and or vehicle without a license. After leaving the city walls, he crossed into the Dragon's Back Mountains, where a small squad of guards had to be dispatched in order to retrieve him. The rescue has cost a considerable amount of money, not including overtime for the guards. Hephaesta Tinderson faces a number of charges of public indecency, including intoxication, disorderly conduct, threatening and abusive behaviour, willful obstruction, violent disorder, and entering several buildings with intent to commit an offence, all of which resulted in her current state, i.e. comatose in a Temple of Nan, which the city is being charged for. You can imagine this has caused quite the commotion in the city. Thank you, Sebastian. That'll be all. Please go and fetch them from the hotel. We won't waste another minute on this. As you command, Lady Wulver.
Are you lonely, miserable, or just plain horny? Well, you've taken the first steps to solving your problems. At least you're dating one. Welcome to D8. Devoted, desired, dreamy or dirty, dapper dates for dejected daters. My name is Roz Grapers, founder, CEO, and love wizard, and my tell-all book, School of Hard Fucks. That's the working title, that's just a working title. Get the full scoop on all that scandal from Mistian University. Pre-order your copy now and get your horny little paws on the book most editors are calling depraved, debased, dirty and debauched, degrading diatribe for degenerate deviants. Act now and get a free Centaur Fold bookmark. Anyway, what's eating you? Wait, no, that's a good question for next time. But for now, what do you feel most guilty about?
Well, I suppose I feel quite guilty about possessing the body of this young man. Well, normally I wouldn't, but everybody's just giving me a hard time about it, so...
Would you regret that at all, or...?
That's a very interesting question to really take it into another turn.
Yeah.
I suppose no.
Okay, yeah. Great. No regrets, no guilt.
No regrets.
Oh, wonderful.
Actually, I should get that maybe above my back tattoo.
Yeah. Nice placeholder.
No regrets.
Yeah. No, Nate has that one under his armpit.
Oh, well, job done.
There's a very long list. We'll keep it light. We'll keep this light and fresh, and so potential dating partners won't be too scared to run away. I might have done all the terrible things that were done to me to another person. And she might have gone a little bit insane. And, you know, that sucks. It's fine.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. Nope. Nothing.
Never like
Nope.
didn't hold the door for an old lady or
No.
I don't know, stalk a guy and then have him
Nope.
disappeared from the city.
Never.
Then possibly learning that he might be dead.
No.
Probably your fault. No.
No, nothing.
Killed a dog.
No. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Okay. That's not healthy.
Roz, you know how I am very fond of you.
Oh, those rumors are flying around the place. How fond of me are you, AJ?
Well, I've been meaning to tell you, I'm not actually a client of yours. I just dropped in to see if the realm could do anything for you. And then the conversation kind of got out of hand and you've been asking me a lot of questions. And I'm beginning to think it's not just a conversation.
Okay, so if you just sign this here and
just here?
Yeah, just sign that right there.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
And you see, now you're a client and now you got nothing to feel guilty about.
Okay.
Okay.
So should we go back to the first question?
Yeah, we'll go right back to the very, very start. Okay.
I'm ready.
So, name, age, race, and class, please.
Ajalia Steele. Race, winner. Age, I suppose, is this mine or like who I'm looking for? Because I'm not looking.
Yours.
Oh, 24.
Okay, great. Turn 24. Okay, put you in that bracket. Okay, yeah.
Class?
Yeah. Oh, you're going to break so many hearts. Fia, you wake up in your hotel room. Outside in the hallway, you can kind of hear the clattering of the housekeepers and the people kind of getting up and getting ready for their day. And there's just a very gentle knock on your door, and you just hear Sebastian outside. Miss Izzidrim, breakfast in the private room of the banquet hall. If you would be so kind as to alert Hephaesta, Kyle, and Ivan.
Yeah, okay, sure. See you there.
Mm-hmm. You're in your room. What are you doing?
So I get up and I just start getting myself dressed, get all my bits together, and then I start going around to each of the rooms. I start with Hephaesta's first.
Fia, could you do me just the small favor? If you could just bring up like a scone and some coffee. And Una just kind of rolls out from under a long, heavy blanket.
Yeah, if they have some, sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much.
Okay. I'll talk to you later.
You head out, and in the hallway like that, you do. I mean, there's just a little kobold lady wheeling past with a cleaning cart, and she's kind of barking at a dwarven fella and a halfling woman about like the rooms and what they should be looking at. She's just doing general room inspections, and you see the door to Hephaesta's room slightly ajar, and you can hear people kind of squabbling inside.
I push it open to see if she's there.
Nope. But there is a wood elf and a half elf that are just kind of sitting back and relaxing. Very sorry, miss. We were just checking the firmness of these armchairs. Yeah, firm. Perfect. We've just finished cleaning the room. Yeah.
Okay. And I walk off thinking, well, if she's not here, she's probably in Kyle's room. So I go towards Kyle's room.
There's a do not disturb little wooden plaque hanging down from the door handle.
I ignore that.
Okay. You open the door. There's nobody inside the room. The room is pristine.
This is weird. There's no way they'd be in Ivan's room. So I go to Ivan's room anyway.
You pass up the corridor, and again, this time when you go to open the door, you immediately... Ivan's inside, and you can just see like a pile of very wet clothes on the floor.
Hey, Sebastian came around. It's time for breakfast.
Sorry, what?
It's time for breakfast. We have to go down for breakfast.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Have you seen Hephaesta or Kyle? They're not in their rooms.
No.
Weird. Okay. I'll just have a bit more look around for them. Get ready and I'll meet you downstairs, sure.
Yes, boss. Fia. Yep.
It was late into the night, Ivan, when the patrol got you back to the city. You weren't bound or chained or anything like that, but you were. It was very awkward. Like you were trying to make conversation with like a bunch of guards who really didn't want to talk to you. They just literally dropped you back to the hotel. They escorted you right up to your room. Is there anything you want to do at this point before you head downstairs?
I suppose. So all my clothes are wet.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I suppose I need to have a look around for some alternatives and see if I can get my clothes dry. Is there a fire anywhere?
The room has its own little fireplace, and it is lit.
Okay, I will sort of get some chairs in the room or anything I can hang my clothes onto and put those up against the fire so they can get dry. And I will just kind of rifle through the drawers and see if I can find something to put on for now. There's
a really, really nice fluffy dressing gown.
Yep, that's me.
It just says the Grand Galeshire Hotel on it. So yeah, you're all bundled up.
I'm all bundled up and I'm going straight down for breakfast.
Okay. Yeah, as you kind of finish kind of checking over the rooms once more, you do pass Ivan just slipping by in a very skimpy dressing gown. Like it's just drifting below his thigh.
Do I want to ask where your clothes are?
Drying off in my room.
Oh, did you go swimming?
I went for a little hike for myself.
Right. Okay. Just be careful of drafts, I suppose.
Giraffes?
Drafts. You don't want that to go blowing up around the place. What you're wearing.
What? My gown?
Yeah.
What?
You don't want to flash anyone.
I wasn't planning on it.
That's what I'm saying. Look out for drafts.
Don't concern yourself with what's under my gown.
I'm not. I'm concerned for people's eyes.
I'm going to get breakfast now. You're weird.
What?
With Ivan somewhat offended and Fia utterly perplexed, the two of you make your way down into the lobby and in the direction of the room that was kind of put aside for you to take your meals in. As you're doing that inside, AJ, as you fill up a little plate, actually, what's on AJ? What is AJ putting together on a little plate for himself?
Oh, for my breakfast? I've presumably been up quite some time, so
yes.
I've already eaten, I would imagine.
Okay.
I'm just like grabbing a glass of water or something like that.
Okay.
But I'd probably be plating up other people's breakfasts, like a couple of pastries on each one, kind of making sure that the coffee's percolating and like ensuring that the buffet is a good spread. And not boring. We've been doing the same meal for 3 weeks. Like that's not exciting for anyone. So potentially some freshly roasted granola in the corner for anyone who's so inclined.
What are you shaking your head for?
Will not be partaking in the granola.
That all tracks.
Yeah, as you are checking on the toastedness of the granola, you hear the door opening behind you, and in steps Sebastian. He's looking well, but the thing that you notice about him first and foremost is on the lapel of his jacket there is a silver medallion. Sebastian seems to have been promoted to Sergeant First Class.
Good morning. Congratulations, Sergeant.
Thank you, Agelius. As you were.
Okay. like AJ, it's hard to fidget when you stand like at attention, but like there's just a internal energy of fidgeting happening.
It's vibrating slightly.
Yeah, like
Where are Miss Tinderson and Mr. Adoris?
I presume in their rooms or in the vicinity, I would imagine.
And if I were to tell you that you've presumed incorrectly,
Then they might have gone for a morning walk or haven't returned from their dalliances yesterday, sir.
Funny that you mentioned the dalliances. Word has spread across the city that, His Majesty and his advisors may have had imposters, and the real heroes are running amok in Galeshire, causing all sorts of misadventures.
I see. Well, I take full responsibility for any of their misadventures that may have happened in the last 24 hours, sir.
Wonderful. Well then, you won't mind, since you've been so quick to take responsibility, presenting yourself to His Majesty.
Not at all. I was thinking actually of revising the mission parameters, sir.
You can discuss that with His Majesty now. You're relieved. I will escort the four over to the palace for their audience with King Dreyfus.
A word of advice, all due respect, sir. These are four very capable, very accomplished individuals. Any time spent under my surveillance has been done voluntarily and entirely with their cooperation. So if you are to be monitoring these wards today, try to keep the peace, sir.
I've been with them a lot longer than you, Steele. And he just opens the door and gestures.
I give a little salute and leave, tail firmly tucked between legs.
He salutes back, but his gaze is fairly stern and fixed on you. And just as you are slipping out the door, Ivan, wearing a very, very seductive bathrobe, and Fia come straight towards the both of you.
Good morning, both of you.
Hi.
Good morning.
Hi.
You okay? You good?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, perfect. I just have to have a word with King Dreyfus. I wanted to apologize for my behavior yesterday. It was entirely unprofessional. I stepped out of line. It won't. AJ's trying not to look at Fia, but he betrays himself. It won't happen again. I'll see you later.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry about it. It's totally fine.
It's
Hey, AJ.
Mm-hmm.
It's not your fault.
I better go. Okay, you know where to find me if you need me. Good day. He walks away.
Turn to Fia and say, I don't know about you, but kind of had an internal fidgeting energy about him.
Did he? I didn't notice.
Good morning, the both of you. Your breakfast is on the table inside. You have 15 minutes. You're then going to be escorted over to the Galeshire Palace and an audience with His Majesty.
What about Kyle and Hephaesta?
We're searching the city for the pair.
Searching?
They're not in their rooms.
I may need longer than 15 minutes. My clothes are drying upstairs. I don't want to see the king dressed like this, if that's at all possible. Even if you could have someone see too, my clothes, even bring them down to me.
Sebastian literally just holds up a little, as you're talking, he does literally, and he does that thing that people do that really bothers me, but he his fingers.
Oh.
And a bellhop literally springs to attention and comes running around the corner. This kind of young, pudgy fella in his mid-20s, human. Literally, as he's about to say good morning and introduce himself, Sebastian, just without making eye contact, close gentleman's room. Have them prestidigitized. And as he was approaching with a hop, skip, and a jump, he turns on his heel and moves the other direction towards your room. Upstairs.
Many thanks.
He keeps going. He doesn't react.
I go in and take a seat, and I don't even pay attention to the plate that I grab, but I just sit and I'm not even eating. I'm just like pulling apart a pastry.
As you sit down and you just kind of start picking away at everything, Ivan, is there anything you're doing?
Filling my boots. We're gonna meet the king. We want to, be given all energy, so I'm gonna just make sure I'm getting a good hearty meal into me. And then once I kind of get my meal, I'm gonna go sit down at a table and sort of take a little look at Fia.
Give me a perception check.
Oh, she should be doing the perception check.
No need.
No need.
Ooh, that is a 5 plus 3, so 8.
You don't really like Fia just seems to be kind of, you don't really you're kind of distracted. The plate of food that you picked up that was kind of there that had stuff on it, it's been arranged to make a little smiley face. Like there's 2 little pastries that are eyebrows, there's a couple of strawberries and a few blueberries that look like eyes. There's a little kind of banana that's like a smile. There's a satsuma for a nose. It's very haunting, if not whimsical.
I'm gonna take a little look over at Fia's plate. I want to see what's happening over there.
She's torn off one of the eyebrows.
Oh. Okay, well, I start eating.
Okay. Is there anything either of the two of you want to do before you make your way over to the palace?
I do run up to my mom just with stuff for her to eat. I know what she asked for, but I didn't pay attention to what I was grabbing and just brought whatever.
As you head up to the room, Una is fully dressed. Give me a perception check. Yeah. Okay. Looking to beat a 15.
No, 12.
Okay. As you head into the room, you just hear like a drawer close. And Una is she's kind of moved back into the middle of the room and she's kind of standing in front of the fireplace a little bit. I was thinking today maybe you and I could just do a little bit of, I don't know, maybe some shopping, some mother and daughter bonding.
That sounds nice, but I have to go meet the king now, Mom, so...
Oh, of course, yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't know how long it's going to take.
No, that's fine. I can keep myself busy. I've got friends in the city I could catch up with. So yeah, no, you go do your thing with the king and stuff. That's fine.
Okay. And I just put the plate down and I walk back out.
Oh, I'd be lost without you.
Okay. I'll talk to you later.
As you're heading out again, she kind of moves over and she starts picking at the plate. You find Ivan kind of down in the lobby in front of the front doors waiting, and there's a small escort of 4 guards and Sebastian, and you are surrounded at either side. You're marched out of the hotel and into a carriage, and then that bundles its way through the city towards the palace. As the city drifts past, you are taking some streets that look vaguely familiar, that you might have passed yesterday, but it's all a bit of a blur. What's going through Ivan's mind as you're heading to the palace?
I suppose I'm just thinking of my time last night in the cave and what I saw and just that whole sort of experience. Like it feels traumatic, but at the same time, there's I feel bolstered for having gone through it. So it's just this sort of weird, I don't know, there's conflicting emotions around the whole thing. Yeah, I suppose it's the first time I've really kind of got to sit with my thoughts and think about, like, I don't know, to kind of just sit in my body for a little bit, sit in Nate's body, I suppose. You know, that's weird. And yeah, I feel at peace in my body all of a sudden.
Can't. Why?
Thea,
why?
what are you thinking about?
Scooching away from Ivan.
Yes, exactly. I'm scooching away from Ivan. I'm looking out the window and I am dissecting every word that AJ said when I saw him this morning.
How do you feel about what AJ said this morning?
Extremely deflated. Like, I was deflated last night after we came back, but then even more so now after hearing that, I'm extremely deflated. I'd be like, oh, okay, well, I guess I read that completely wrong.
The carriage trundles down along the cobbled streets, and it's taking you past the night market via, and it is that, like, oh god, not this place. It looks very different in the day. There's still as many vendors and stuff like that, but it doesn't have the same magic as it did last night. In the way that you're going to remember that night for a very, very long time. And as you pass under the palace bridge, you can see heading into the newer side of the city, the carriage kind of starts to turn back on itself, and it's now making its way uphill towards as AJ kind of pointed out a couple of weeks ago, this is kind of where, like, a lot of the official government buildings are, like the Bank of Galeshire. You actually, there's a crime scene outside the bank. There's like police detectives looking at it and stuff like that, and you can see 4 very strange looking Ganassi girls kind of being carted away. No sign of Estrella anywhere, but the buildings here are huge. There's not that many, but they're huge. And you see signs for the Galeshire University, the Academy, and the library, and all the things that go with it. Parliament building, and these are grand, modern buildings. They as you look down into the old eastern side of Galeshire, they very much are in stark contrast to a lot of the simpler, more kind of rustic look to that part of the city. These are a very firm staple of a modern Galeshire. And then as it comes through the square and you pass this huge obelisk, you just see the road towards the palace bridge, and you just see Galeshire Palace from a point of view you've never seen before, and it is magnificent. The walls are this deep sapphire blue. There's a gold-trimmed edging all along the columns and pillars. The trim seems to catch the rays of the sun, even though it's quite an overcast and frosty morning. They glisten. You pass over the bridge, and you see these 2 huge gold and black gates just open, as if willed by some unseen magical force. The grounds are almost as big as the palace, and there's a huge garden and hedgerow maze to your left, and a huge garden and hedgerow maze to your right. The entire time, you've all just kind of sat in silence, but you are recounting all the kind of the different things that AJ told you kind of about the palace. Both of you give me wisdom saving throws, actually, Ivan and Fia.
9.
4.
Yeah, but it was a lot of just shite. Fia, you're all you can think about is what he said this morning. That literally, you're like, oh yeah, the palace. He said something about the palace, but he also said that really mean thing this morning, and I'm just kind of like, it's hurting, and it's really hurting a lot. He was just a tour guide, Ivan. He was just a very, very droll tour guide, and that's the palace. And those are the 2 gardens that he maybe mentioned
Before it was as the
you're still drawing the carriage is still coming up to the palace, so yeah, you can.
Fia, while I remember, I just wanted to give you something. If you could just keep it on your person, that would be fantastic. So I'll pull out my bag of ball bearings. I'm just going to take one little ball bearing. I'm going to give it like a good stern look, and be like, if you wouldn't mind just popping that in your pocket, please.
Confused, but I take it.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
We're just about to arrive. You will be escorted directly through the palace. Do not deviate from your accompaniment. You will be asked to wait. His Majesty will attend the meeting. It goes without saying you carry yourself with a shred of respect. He looks at both of you.
For ourselves? I do.
The carriage stops, and Sebastian just sighs. Door opens, and he hops out. And he holds a hand up for Euphia to step out. And you are standing in front of these 6 large, high steps up to the doors of the palace. You've never seen a building like this before. Even if you've been to Galeshire, you've never been this close to the palace. You've no idea. The building almost seems to glow or hum. There's just something about it. Like it has presence in a way that you've never really seen a building have that before. It's just wow. And as the doors open and a small flurry of guards and servants attend to you, and they are wiping you down, they are making sure you're dry, they're making sure you're clean, they're taking weapons and stuff off of you. It's all happening very, very quickly. You are led straight through this huge hallway. Fia, it's for you. It's like your house would fit into one corner. Like the whole building would fit into a corner, and then 10 times over. Like you've never seen this. And there's just doors, huge paintings in so many different styles, long, perfect, pristine tapestries hanging from these huge ceilings, candelabras lit everywhere. The palace, for as big and as open and as wide it is warm. The entire time you're here, both of you feel the air trembling a little bit. There's like an atmosphere in here, but there's also it's very tangible.
Is it akin to like an internal fidget?
Yes, it's almost as if the palace has its own internal fidgeting going on. It's made of me. You are escorted by guards. They've effectively changed hands. So guards that brought you here are still outside the palace. This seems to be specifically palace guards. Their uniforms are very, very similar, though they wear 2 long sashes over each shoulder. The corridor seems to go on for a very, very long time. You duck past a large grand staircase, and you keep walking, your footsteps echoing the whole way down. Meanwhile, AJ, you find yourself stood in the throne room. His Majesty King Dreyfus has not arrived, but you are facing his 3 advisors. In front of you on a raised platform, you see Marigold Wulver III, Reete of the Blue Moon, and Camillus Oron, the king's 3 advisors, are staring down at you. For the last 15 or 20 minutes, you have been grilled on what exactly happened, how Ivan, Hephaesta, and Kael managed to slip out from your supervision.
Mm-hmm.
And I beg your pardon, Agelius. Why were you distracted?
My lord, my ladies, I wouldn't say I was distracted. I would like to say that I was using the best of my judgment in the moment. And it is my belief, both professional and personal, that the parameters of this mission need to be a little less stringent in order to encourage increased cooperation and trust between these wards and the realm. With that in mind, I would like to submit a official request to change the parameters of the mission.
Oh my god!
For the listeners.
Yeah,
Ben has made his own prop and brought it in.
With a wax seal.
the rest of you are getting shown the fuck up.
Yeah, we
Stop
know.
doing that, Ben.
Yeah, we know.
Hang on, is that just a big drawing of a willy?
Just stepping away from the wall, a servant just approaches you, Aegelius, takes the wax sealed envelope, and Camillus leans out over the desk a little bit and snatches it, and he unravels it, scans it, and then hands it immediately to Marigold, who again kind of fixes a gaze on it and then wistfully kind of offers it over to Reete, who does comment on the penmanship. But I really love the initiative you've taken there now. And look at that. And look at a little wax seal and everything. Oh, that's why you're our favourite. Aegelius, while we appreciate your suggestions, it doesn't go about making up for the fact that it doesn't look good for the kingdom that we have hidden the 4 heroes of Wormnook and Tezrab.
If I may speak, my lord. Was that Sebastian's suggestion? To have decoys? Just for my final report.
And they look at each other and they lean in, and Marigold, who sits in the middle, she sits between Camillus and Reete. It was. Would you have done something differently?
As per my report, yes, I would have.
Marigold sits up a little bit taller than the others.
However, hindsight is a wonderful thing, and I can only take full responsibility for my part in Sergeant Sebastian's plan. And for that, I am deeply, deeply sorry. I will do better.
The matter is being taken care of, Aegelius, and we have found one of the 2 missing heroes. After His Majesty has finished questioning, we would like you to continue working with them, guiding them, and of course reporting back to us.
Absolutely. As per the revised parameters or current set?
They'll be taken into account. We will, of course, bring them to His Majesty's attention.
Very much appreciated. And thank you for your understanding. It is not my habit to make mistakes such as these, and I am, both professionally and personally, well, quite frankly, embarrassed. So thank you all for your time. I know it is precious, and for your cooperation.
When the meeting concludes, and only when the meeting concludes, Aegelius, please inform Miss Izzidrim and whatever he's calling himself these days, Ivan.
Swallow, I believe.
Miss Tinderson and the others kind of shift a little uncomfortably. She was found injured this morning. She's unconscious. She is with the healers at the Temple of Nan. I trust you know what that means.
Unfortunately, yes.
You may continue to observe. His Majesty has asked your presence. But be silent. And Reete and Camillus kind of nod, and they go to leave. And as they shuffle out one door, there's a rapping at the bottom of the throne room. Hold a moment. And Marigold shifts her attention to you, AJ. Aegelius, I wish to discuss something with you away from Reete and Camillus.
As you wish, my lady.
You are a proud son of Galeshire. You are a shining light for the city. It hurts me to think your reputation could be sullied. I understand you're a young man. You have needs and desires. If I may be so inclined as to offer you a piece of advice.
Your guidance is gold dust, my lady.
Pay very close attention during the king's conversation. You don't know who that young woman really is, and I would hate to see you hurt. And, by proxy, the kingdom.
AJ stifles an objection, but holds his tongue.
Marigold kind of stands up, and she's wearing this long, flowing white and silver gown. Very pointed shoulders. Her hair is draped down across her chest and her back, and it's this sleek blonde grey. She's very beautiful, very glamorous. And as she kind of stands, servants immediately move to draw the chair away from her, and the table that she was sitting at is removed. The chair is moved down 3 steps, a little bit closer to the floor, and she takes a seat. You may now bring in Miss Izzidrim and Ivan Svalo. And the door opens, and in front of you, Ivan and Fia, you see this grand throne room. A long burgundy carpet just draped up the center. Hard marble floors. And at the very, very end, a huge portrait. It's the king and the queen, King Dreyfus and Queen Drusilla, and they're standing in the ruins of the old Galeshire castle.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
As you enter, a trumpet goes off, and your presence is announced by an unseen voice from somewhere. Introducing Miss Fia Izzidrim of Tezrab, in company of Ivan Svalo.
Oh, sorry, the Ivan of the Forgotten Vale.
I beg your pardon. In company of Ivan of the Forgotten Vale. And to one side of the raised platform, you see AJ standing to attention. Both of you see that high elf woman that you'd met a couple of weeks ago in the city. Marigold Wulver III. AJ told her she's one of the king's closest advisors. And as you are led up through the throne room, God, it feels like you've run a marathon at this stage. But as you move up, she shifts a little bit in her seat, and she gives you both a very kind of warm, welcoming kind of smile. And then she stands, and again, a voice calls out, "Please stand for His Royal Majesty, King Dreyfus." A door opens on the wall opposite you, AJ, and out step 2 guards, again, palace guards wearing those sashes. But behind them, very obvious because while Dreyfus has gotten on in years, he hasn't lost his build, he hasn't lost his physique. Out steps King Dreyfus. And you've seen drawings of him. You see that big one there at the end of the hall. He still has the beard, though it's a sandy white and grey. Wisps of like a rusty orange still clinging, but he's gotten on in years. His hair is pulled back and up into a wispy man bun. His face has wrinkled, but that softness is still there. That sort of warmness is there, and his eyes are this really, really deep brown. And he stands into the room, a cloak made of the finest silk and furs draping behind him. The king is built, like he's stacked. If a little old, he's still got it. And he moves straight towards the throne, which sits in the middle of the platform. And for a throne in the king's throne room, in the king's palace, in the capital city of Galeshire, it's very simple. It's not made of gold. It doesn't have diamonds hanging off of it. It's a very simple, tall, black mahogany chair. And he takes a seat as his cloak is unclipped. It's a lot of bother, really, isn't it, for a meeting? And he just kind of rubs his legs a little bit. Sorry about all this. It's just Mary herself kind of likes to put on a bit of the pump. Fia.
Hi. Yes. Hi. Yes. Hi.
Your Majesty.
Your Majesty.
No. You can call me Dreyfus.
Okay.
By the look of you, Thane. Nope.
Absolutely not. Neither of those. Couldn't be further from the truth.
Hephaesta.
No. No, try again.
Ivan.
Yes.
Of the Forgotten Vale, I believe.
Yes, as announced earlier. I'm surprised you didn't.
I didn't catch that. No, yeah. I knew it from the manuscript they gave me outside.
Oh, I'm surprised you didn't go with Nate.
Who?
Very good. Very good. Your Majesty.
That went up at the end, I assumed.
No, it was just an acknowledgement.
Acknowledged. Agelius.
Your Majesty.
Mary. Your Majesty. So, meeting the king, huh? Saving the day and stuff.
He just by coincidence, really.
Is there a particular reason why you want us here to speak to us? Just checking in.
Just to get into the bottom of it, really, like how it all kind of kicked off. Sounds a bit serious.
Well, pretty straightforward. You'll sort of run-of-the-mill situation.
Sorry to be rude, but just to cut across you there for a second, because if I don't, she'll have me guts for garters. Mary. And Marigold stands up, and from a small little bag on her hip, she takes out a simple silver box. For the purpose of this conversation, we think it best that we get to the truth of the matter. And Ivan, if you are so inclined to speak first, would you mind, please, giving me your hand?
For what purpose?
We have a small device that can help us just cut through the details and really hone in on the truth.
Can
His
I?
Majesty is very busy, so you understand that it's important.
Can I roll insight to see if there's anything more to what she's saying, or if she's just being completely honest? 13.
You don't get anything from her. Like she doesn't. You're not getting like a weird vibe at all. There's no kind of like she's not being shifty about it, and the fact that the king was the one to kind of go, oh wait, hang on a second. Aegelius, you know what this is. You've never seen it been used, but it's common kind of practice usually.
If I can catch Ivan's eye, I'll kind of give him an encouraging, little nod.
Okay, I'll put my hand out.
She takes your wrist, and her hand kind of coils around your wrist, and then she unfurls the palm of your hand and your fingers, and then with her other hand, she slips a simple gold band on your ring finger.
Oh.
It is a Veritas ring. While you wear it, you will find lying very difficult. You'll find that if you do manage to lie, well, it's best you stick to the truth.
I have absolutely nothing to hide.
Before King Dreyfus begins, a simple test. Could you please state your name and age?
I don't necessarily have an exact figure, but my name is Ivan of the Forgotten Vale, and I think I'm somewhere around me or the body.
Marigold looks very perplexed and then looks back at King Dreyfus, and he's got a big grin on his face, like that'll do, thank you. The ring would have reacted. And she sits down a little bit like, okay. So, we'll start way back at the start. Tezrev. What happened?
Okay. I don't know.
I see. And he looks at Marigold. And Marigold's looking at you, Fia. And then she kind of looks back up at the king. Well, sometimes, the heat of battle and the rush of adrenaline, we can block things out. You strike me as quite a competent warrior.
Yes, absolutely, yes.
So perhaps, okay, maybe we'll start with a softer question, more recent question. Wormnook. What happened?
Wormnook.
I slightly raise my hand in the background.
I don't know.
And Marigold is kind of looking at the ring, just like staring at it. The ring just feels like a gold ring on your hand. It's not doing... Okay. Well, what do you know?
Well, I am Ivan of the Forgotten Vale.
Okay, well, we have that for the record again. And that is it.
Pretty much.
Okay. And you are the group's leader.
Absolutely, I am, yes.
Absolutely
The ring
not.
explodes. Got him, everybody. Perhaps, given the... And Dreyfus is looking very... Marigold kind of just... Well, if anything, we have verified that Nathaniel isn't in there. Interesting. Miss Izzidrim, perhaps you might speak to the events, seeing as your body and soul were there for both. Ivan, why don't you go for a walk?
That would be lovely. Oh, do you have any, what do they call them? Sorry, escapes me. Books. Any book houses?
A library?
Yes, library.
We have the finest library in the kingdom just across the bridge.
Well, aren't you great?
You're too kind. I can have a guard escort you. The ring?
Oh, yes. Okay, it's stuck. I'll just start sucking my finger. Oh, sorry, just one. Ow. Your Majesty, excuse me. Sorry.
Okay. He's laughing away.
Okay. Ow. I think that was my knuckle. For you. And he hands it to Marigold.
And Marigold looks at one of the servants who comes over and just like begrudgingly puts out their hand to accept the wet ring.
And I drop it in their hand.
A guard approaches and you're led out of the throne room to go for a walk to a library / bookhouse.
Good luck, Fia.
What? Are you not staying?
I've been excused.
Thanks, Ivan.
You're welcome.
Wow.
Marigold gestures for you to stand just at the base of the platform. Miss Izzidrim, if you would, and the servant is currently cleaning the ring, if you would take the ring.
I step forward to take the ring and like I'm really fighting to not look at AJ during all of this.
Could you please state your name and age for the record?
My name is Via Izzidrim. I'm 141 years old.
She sits down, kind of tucking and folding the dress she's wearing kind of underneath her as she takes her seat. The king kind of looks you up and down a little bit. There's no way now a little thing like you did all that damage.
It wasn't just me and my friends. There was,
so there was more of you in it, was there, huh?
There's the town's guard as well in Tesrab, and then members of Galeshire army were there. It's like my Tinderson, Hephaesta's sister, held the whole gate by herself.
Yeah.
So, we were like anyone else that day. We were just trying to help.
Okay. Fia, do me a favor. Come up. Come up here.
Huh?
Come
what?
Up. As he's gesturing for you to come up, a servant is coming out with a chair.
Okay. I gingerly walk up.
Marigold is smiling as you walk past.
Awooga.
A little peanut gallery here.
My palms are feeling very sweaty.
I'm sweet.
Mom's spaghetti.
Mom's spaghetti.
Una's spaghetti. No, she doesn't make anything.
No, she doesn't make anything.
Now, breathe. No. Like that. Now, all cleared out. Right.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Why did you go fighting in Tesrab?
Well, we were at my house. Nate and Hephaesta, who wasn't Hephaesta, and myself with my mom, who I'd just seen after many years. And that just boom, there's just an explosion.
He's now on the edge of his seat.
So Nate's mom had just left, and so had another friend of ours, Clodagh, and we were worried and concerned that they were hurt, so we went looking for them. And then we found Nate's mom, and then we went and we met everyone in the square, and they were saying the city was being attacked. And I was like, okay, what can we do? Can we help? And we just, like everyone else who was there, we just dug out and just helped. Like Nate's mom went and helped, and Clodagh went and helped, and Hephaesta's sister Sekhmet went and helped. Like we all, everyone helped. It wasn't just us.
The entire time you're speaking, he's on the edge of his seat, and he's kind of like buried his chin onto his fists, and his elbows are on his knees. And then he looks at one of the guards, And he looks at Marigold. He looks back at you. And he just smiles. And the guard knows what this means. And he slips down a small little doorway. And he comes back a moment later with a couple of bowls of like crisps and like snacks. Okay, so this is getting really good. So, Nate's mom was there.
Yeah.
And your mom was there.
Yeah. And Hephaesta's sister was there, and my brother was there. There was members of the town guard. There was members of the Galeshire army. Commander Groff was there. Sebastian was there too. So
Fine gentlemen. Sad to see they broke up. Fine gentlemen, nonetheless.
He gives me the heebie-jeebies, but that's neither here nor there. So we just followed along as best we could, just to try and help people, because it's where I grew up. It's where Nate grew up. We just wanted to help. Like, there was an army of the undead breaking down the city doors.
Where did they come from?
I don't know. They were led by someone we recognized who we'd met in a village called Herb, a priest, but he was dead, so he was undead as well. Father Sops was his name. And then there was a night hag there also, who we had a run-in with a night hag previously, and she said, this is for my sister. So I was assuming it was revenge that she was attacking us too, for attacking her sister. But we killed her, so that was good. And then we killed him, and then that stopped the army of the undead. Well, we didn't kill her. No, actually, sorry. Nate's mom killed her. She entombed her in crystal with her and gave her own life. She's actually the real hero.
And he's kind of got like a handful of these like fried potato slices in one hand. So you beat them. Or Nate's mom beat them. And then you were asked to come and talk to me because of that whole incident with the potion lady.
Yes. We had previously stumbled across a temple, the Temple of Devotion and Purity. It was being run by a succubus and an incubus. And I had found a ledger which had names of high-standing members of Tezrab buying these potions off them, these laced potions. And they were using them on figures in Tezrab. I know Norris Flotstone was involved with that as well. And we were going at the time to save Nate's wife, who's Norris's sister. This is before the battle. We were going to try and save her because he captured her and he was going to kill her so he could take over the Flotstone fortune because it'd been left to her and not to him. So we were going to try and save her and we all got captured, and then we ended up beating him and stopping the form of an old god coming out.
A guard offers you a bowl of like snacks. A lot of the other guards have bowls of snacks, and so do some of the servants, and everyone is just...
It's like everybody sitting crisscross applesauce on the floor, just at home.
I just passed the bowl on, following mine. It's like I'm listening to everything, being like, there's something in here I'm meant to know, I think. Otherwise Marigold wouldn't have told me, but like I'll just pass along through the guards.
So yeah, that's where that came from. Yeah.
That sounds brilliant.
It was just all just coincidence. I mean, like we just went to Herb to do a simple job, and it spiraled into this.
So no. Fast forward. Don't be concerning yourself with them details. Like, fast forward. You're in Warmnook.
Yeah. So, just a little background. Hephaesta's ex is kind of crazy, and she had been impersonating her previously, and then started impersonating other people.
This is the one that was Hephaesta at the dinner party.
Yes, exactly. So she had been impersonating Commander Groff and had framed Hephaesta for killing Evil, but Hephaesta would never kill Eve because like she cares about Eve, but framed her for the murder. So we went then into Warmnook, where we ran into Count Swallow, who offered us to come and stay at his castle/inn/spa, and she was put down in a dark, dank dungeon while the rest of us were upstairs.
Makes sense, yeah.
But then things started getting really weird again. And I don't know why this always happens. Something happened to the Count and we had to fight a load of monsters. We'd go down through this dungeon, which was really weird and seemed like we were portaled to another dimension almost with the way it was working. It just did not make logical sense where the doors were leading
keep your
to.
criticisms on the layout. Those old castles, they can be a bit topsy-turvy.
But
Judgmental bitch.
Nate, Kyle and I were trying to get to Hephaesta to save her, and then Nate zoomed off and disappeared, and then I got separated from Kyle, and then I ended up fighting something, and next thing I know, we're all portaled out of the castle as it's falling, and then Nate doesn't remember he's Nate anymore, and he's Ivan.
Right. Jesus, you couldn't write this stuff, could you?
Honestly, no. I don't know where this came out of. Like, it's just, there's no, like, really, you really couldn't write this.
And he just takes another, he's now kind of like, his fingers are scraping the bottom of the bowl. He's eating kind of the rest of the snacks.
So, the reason you're really here, Fia, is, and by now I'm sure you've heard of the 4 Galeshire heroes. See, folks need an icon. You know, they need someone to look up to. And well, after Tezrab and after Wormnook, word's gotten out about the 4 heroes. Folks are drawing comparisons between yourselves and, well, the twins and Mary, the wizard. So, well, how would you be fixed for possibly representing Galeshire as ambassadors?
Oh, gosh.
Don't worry, you've time to think about it.
No.
You've time to think. No, you don't want time to think about it, or you don't want to do it.
I'm with all,
because it's your king asking you.
I understand, sir. I don't know. I can't speak for my friends. I can only speak for
Well, that's why I'm giving you the time to think about it.
Well, I can give you my answer, sir. I never, through all of these circumstances, wanted this. And I do mean no offense by that. Like, I will do it if you ask me to do it, but it's not something I want.
So you're saying if I command you to do it, you'll do it?
I have no choice, sir, if you do.
Interesting.
But I just wanted to make you aware that it's purely circumstance that all of us were in these different situations. And I'm glad that things happened for the better. We were not the kind of people who want to see bad things happen to others. But it's still, I just want to go back and live my life in Tezrab.
And that's what you want?
Yes, sir.
You just want to go back to Tezrab? To working in a little shop?
It was simpler. That this is all quite intimidating, if I'm being totally honest.
I'm the one wearing the crown. Tell me about it.
I don't know how you manage, sir.
It's not that heavy. I think they swapped it out. It's not the real gold one.
Oh, that's a bit of a relief, I suppose.
So it's straining me neck at some of the parties, though. Oh.
I will do what is asked of me, but...
Well... Marigold and her folks, they're all, you know, they're the ones that concern themselves with a lot of this. Just going to say thanks. Really.
Thank
helping
you.
out.
I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Not a bother. Well, I'm out of snacks. It was a great story. There's nothing else. Off you go.
I stand up and like awkwardly kind of bow and then run down the steps, but then realize I still have the ring and run back up and hand it over.
As you turn, remembering you've the ring on your hand, as you turn back, Marigold just holds a hand out. Your Majesty, if you wouldn't mind, I have a few questions for Miss Izzidrim.
Well, if it's more stories, and he kind of slumps into the chair a little bit.
And one of the guards is kind of going around looking to see if there's a bowl of snacks, and AJ, the bowl that you didn't eat, he goes up and he gets it, gives it to the king, and he bows as he kind of walks away. And Marigold, she stands, Fia, as you are now kind of again at the bottom of the platform, she stands just kind of towering over you. Miss Izzidrim, let me go back to something you had said earlier. You had said that you were on a simple job in Herb. How did you come by the job?
My brother knew Saint and asked if I'd go out and take care of it and help.
And would you often undertake jobs like this at your brother's request?
Well, I mean, yeah, he takes care of me. Of course I would do stuff for him too.
From the small bag on her hip, she takes out a small folder. Does the name Hod ring a bell? And we'll leave that episode there.
You've been listening to Romance in the Dungeon with Sam, Amber, Louise, Ben, and me, Declan, your Dungeon Master. That's it for another episode. We are back in 2 weeks' time. As always, a big thank you to Ghost of Red Mountain for our theme song, Haunted. Our title card and artwork is by Ralph is Redacted. You can find them both over on Twitter. I keep saying we're getting very close to the finale, and then we record, and then something else happens, and I'm like, oh, that would be... It's... Season 2 has been a wild ride, and we are a couple of episodes away from the end. You can find us over on social media at D8 Dungeon. You can check out our Discord server where there are some lovely daters. We stream over on twitch.tv/D8 Dungeon. We are organizing the Dungeon Drive, our annual TTRPG fundraiser, and for more information, do contact us on social media, on email, d8dungeon@gmail.com. We've been nominated for a Crit Award for Best Script. That's mad. That's awesome. Mad in a good way. Yeah, it's been great. And I just want to keep telling stories with these amazing folks and sharing them with people like you. So thank you for all of your support, and we will see you in 2 weeks' time.
My name is Fia Izzidrim. I'm 141 years old.
Is that AJ or Ben? Because one of those will get you in trouble.
It's the right one.